Oh, Lord, I apologize. All my sins I bring and lay them at the altar. From my lips I asked of you, Lord, please forgive me, forgive me. In all sincerity, I do surrender. I'll do your will. I'll do your will, because I was made to worship you. Oh, because I was made to worship you. I bring it right. I lay the altar. Oh Lord, please forgive me. This is a sincere prayer tonight, God. I do surrender. I'll do your will. I'll do your will. That's my job. That's my assignment in the earth. I was made to lift my hand and give you glory. This is only for the worshipers. We create an altar in this space, and we crown you in our praise. I was made to worship. I was made to worship. I was made to worship you. You deserve my highest praise. I was to worship. I was made. I was made. To worship. I lift my hand. I give you glory. Yes, I was. With my hands lifted up and my mouth filled with praise, I will bless you, Lord. With my hands and my feet, my whole spirit, I will. It's about work. I'll give you glory. I'll tell my story. You deserve my praise. I give you glory. Yes, Lord. I worship. I give you glory. My worship you. Somebody lift your voice and give him worship right now. Lift your voice and give him honor right now. All hail the power of Jesus' name. Let angels prostrate fall. Bring forth the royal diadem and crown him Lord. I was made to worship. I was made to honor. I was made to glorify. I was made to gratify. I was made to edify the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. If you worship him, let me hear you screaming here. Oh, say with my hands and my feet, with my spirit, I worship. I was made to worship you. Hey, when I don't have the words, I'm just saying, I worship. I was made to worship. My God. Just touch somebody next to you and tell them, I don't know about you. Come on, y'all ain't talking to nobody. Don't play hard to get tonight. Touch somebody and tell them, I don't know about you, but I was made to worship. Now put a shout on it if it's you.
If in me in Christ, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. All things are passed away. If in me in Christ, he is a new creature. Behold, all things have become new. If in me in Christ, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. All things are passed away. If in me in Christ, he is a new creature. Behold, all things have become new. Behold, all things have become new. If in me in Christ, he is a new creature. All things are passed away. All things are passed away. If in me in Christ, he is a new creature. Behold, all things have become new. Behold, all things have become new.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of the Glory 980 AM, the Glory Media Group, LLC, WDDO AM, its staff, management, or advertisers, but are the views and opinions of the participants of the broadcast.
Mother Georgia, she's back on live, the historic 980 WDDO. All of a sudden, let's go live into the studio with our host, Brenda Sutton.
Well, hello.
Good evening. What's up?
Well, it's Monday and it's wet.
Yeah, you know what? It's been wet the last several Mondays. It's been raining.
I don't know what's up with that.
Fred coming through. Fred said he's gonna wet all of us up.
That's what he said.
And we got somebody new in the studio with us today.
Big Hen.
Yes.
Dr. Durong want me to help,
Oh God.
You know what, Dr. Do wrong.
Yeah.
Deacon do wrong.
Deacon do wrong. It's Deacon do wrong. And I know he's gonna try to call in, and stuff like that. But
I'm sure he will.
Yep.
And I'm sure you will do him proud.
Yeah.
We gotta keep this honest.
Okay.
Keep what honest?
The show.
Well, it was.
So he asked me to step in and because I can't fill his shoes.
Oh Lord, also some interesting shoes to fill.
Oh no, you can't fit his shoes. You have to fit his boots.
Right.
Cause he wear cowboy boots.
No, don't be talking shade on a slide.
We do talk shade. We do because
this is what we do.
It's not on the slide. He really does. He wears these cowboy boots every, for our listeners out there. He does. He wears cowboy boots. And by the way, I'm trying to think who it was. The guy at the courthouse. You know who I am, my buddy. Whenever I go through the Melody, Texas, he told me, and I don't remember his name, but you call in and let me know or hit me in the chat. He said, tell Deacon Do Wrong to take off that cowboy hat. He said he tired. He said he tired of seeing it with the cowboy hat on.
Why does it bother him so much? Ever since I've known Johnny, which has been for years, he has always worn a cowboy hat. I think I can honestly say I've only seen him maybe 2 or 3 times over the years without a hat on.
You have to deserve to wear that, and everybody just don't deserve it.
Well, there's a rich history that I read about the black cowboy, and Johnny is like a descendant of those. Like I think his uncle was a black cowboy.
I don't know, but I think
I
don't know about it.
Seriously.
It was the black cowhand that started the term cowboy.
Right.
If the white folks had done it, it would have been cowman.
See?
So it was a cowboy. So that's right. That tell you the original cowboys were black.
That's true. But yeah, that's actually from my understanding. Yeah, I believe his uncle was an actual black cowboy. I think his great uncle or somebody like that, because his uncle used to come down to Grants a lot, and he would have the cowboy hat on as well.
Really?
Every time I saw the uncle.
That's all the more. That's more the reason why he deserved to wear that hat.
But you know what though? I don't know why. I put it like this. Johnny, and for all my listeners, y'all know I do a lot of genealogy. Mm-hmm. Johnny's people from Sandersville. Putting our jokes aside, they're from Washington County, and he was supposed to come on here today, but he on quarantine. He on quarantine,
which is good
because he got to stay on quarantine because he had the COVID. Mm-hmm. So, hey, Jackie. Yeah, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, he had to be under quarantine, so I'm like, because he want me to do his genealogy and his ancestry kit, which I have for him. I haven't, but I believe that Johnny and I are related.
Oh my goodness.
I believe y'all are too.
Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that be a day?
Oh gosh, yes. But he's from Washington County.
And both of y'all love running your mouth.
Exactly.
Oh, but Johnny like running his mouth and use proper words. He like to be proper.
Well, we all should strive to be proper and speak intellectually.
Well, I will one day. But then, I just tell words and stuff like that. And then, Henry over there, my husband, y'all didn't know Henry is my loving husband. Hey, I love Big Henry. Henry is the reason why we're here today.
That's right.
Henry is a lawyer. Ain't it right, babe? Ain't it how I said lawyer, attorney? Which is the most proper word I should use for that?
That is a good question. Like, what do you guys prefer, or do you care whether we call you a
barrister?
lawyer or attorney?
Ain't that a word?
No, you be careful how you pronounce that word.
Barrister.
Barrister is a correct word, but you don't pronounce words correctly, so I don't want to use that word.
All right. So, what is the proper word? Should we call you Attorney Williams, Lawyer Williams? Which one? I got another word for you, but I can't say it on the air.
What is the difference? Is there a difference?
Well, Esquire literally means gentleman.
Uh-huh.
And it was generally associated with lawyers, but any male can be an Esquire.
Okay, that's what I thought. I actually got into a debate with somebody about that, and I was like, "No, it means lawyer." And I was like, "No." So I was wondering why a lot of lawyers I've seen a lot of lawyers refer to themselves as Esquire. I thought maybe it was a different type of lawyer or something like that.
Well, no, it's just now generally associated. Like a fellow told me the other day. He said I just left a graveyard and I saw where there were two people buried in one grave. I said that's illegal. You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
He said yeah, because it said here lies a lawyer and a gentleman. He said you can't put two people in one grave.
I just want you to know that that is Big Henry's attempt to make a joke. He tried to make a joke.
Leave my hand
Henry, that was real cute. That was a real cute joke.
You love picking at me, don't you?
I do.
Well, we want to thank you for sponsoring the show.
Yeah, you do. Because
you.
Because you do a good thing for the community. A lot of people listen to us. A lot of people, a lot of times they don't call in, and I'm like, okay, but that doesn't mean they're not listening.
That's
it
right.
just means that they just don't want to call in or whatever. And then they'll see us out in the street, and hey, you Brenda from All of a Sudden, and don't they do the same to you, Emily?
They do. And the strangest thing actually happened. Somebody recognized my voice. I was in Walmart, and I was in Walmart with Jimmy, and we're doing, regular shopping. And a lady recognized my voice. She said, "Ma'am, excuse me, I don't mean to, sound weird, but are you on the radio?" And I kind of was like, "Yeah." She said, "I knew I recognized your voice. You're on that show with the other lady and the deacon that does wrong." I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "You sound exactly like you sound on the radio in real life."
Okay.
Yeah.
So she actually recognized my voice and had never seen my face. So that was pretty
and
cool.
And that's pretty cool. So
Hey, Sheila.
How you doing?
Well, that just shows that you don't change your voice to try to be on the radio.
Right.
Well, some people,
Like you normally talk.
but a lot of
Right.
people do that, Henry. A
I
lot of
understand.
people, they'll change their voice when they're in certain settings and around certain people.
Right.
I want to say it was Frederick Douglass who said that you need to be the way you are, regardless of who your audience is,
Mhm.
because then you don't have to remember what you said. So
Right,
I
absolutely.
speak the same whether I'm with white people, black people, church people, unchurched. It doesn't
Yes,
matter.
we know you have no filter, Brenda.
I do have sometimes I have a filter though.
Oh, Sheila says she got your joke. She said, "Cute joke. I got it."
Thank you. Somebody got my humor. See
You know what, Mr. Williams?
what?
You know what? We need for everybody that's listening, share.
Please
Share.
do that.
Please do that, because Henry gonna get tired of me in a minute and say, "Babe, you ain't gonna have this show no more, cause ain't nobody sharing." I want to say the last time we was probably up to maybe about 7,000 listeners. We need to be up to at least 12,000 listeners. So I need for y'all to share. Just hit that share. No, hit the like button. If they just hit the like
We
button,
need that to stay on 107.9.
we need
We
it.
started out AM, now we're both AM and FM, and
And-
Instagram and
And Facebook and Mr. Williams, and I'm so proud of you being the lawyer that you are. Because you're a good lawyer. And if you weren't a good lawyer, we couldn't pay for this. I'm just saying. Because
So we thank you again.
we thank you again.
it's really my pleasure. I got two talented people that I love sponsoring.
Well, hey, that's our cousin Lakeisha. Hey, Lakeisha, how you doing?
Lakeisha Lucas
And
Ramirez.
Well, Ramirez.
let me not forget to mention, you said Deacon do wrong, but he's Dr. Do wrong.
No, he ain't no
He's
Dr. Drew.
graduated now.
He ain't he He ain't graduated. He ain't graduated. You know what though? I just kind of want to talk a little bit about COVID and that Delta and different things that we may be able to do at home to come, to build our immune system, but put it out. You need to do whatever the doctor tell you to do. That's number one. You need to do that. However, now I'm going to give an example. I went to a funeral this weekend with a family member. Mr. Henry didn't go because of not necessarily he had COVID, but because there's some other things going on. You didn't need to be in that crowd.
Right.
And we want to encourage our listeners, if someone's having a big gathering or something,
you inspect and know about it, because you need to go in there intelligently and aware of what the risks are.
You need to wear your mask. I learned something today. If you are wearing a mask, and for those of us who wear glasses, and if your mask is fogged up, that mask, if your glasses are fogged up, your mask is not fitting you properly.
Exactly. It should be a tight fit all the way around the nose, all the way around the cheeks, and up under the chin, so that no particle can get in. And these cheap cloth masks, y'all got to stop using these cheap cloth masks and get a mask that has a filter. You can actually buy the filters on Amazon.
Right.
Really?
So, and all of my masks have like little pouches inside, so that I just change the filter out. I just put a new filter in and out.
Oh, wow.
And they come in like packs of 25 or 50. So you can change them out regularly. That way, that, you're protected. But stop buying these little cheap 99-cent masks.
Just because they're cute.
Yeah, right.
Well, I like cute masks now, but I've been wearing it.
But you want it to be cute and functional.
Right. I wear my N95s is what I wear, my N95 mask. And that's what Henry and I wear. But I actually, and it's not scientific or anything like that, but I actually I said, my eyes are burned when I'm around COVID.
Right.
And I can just, and I've walked in the stores and things like that and seen it. So I just tried, and I said my eyes I've felt it burning in my eyes. So we want to encourage everybody, wear your mask, and not just, not any old mask, but a good fitting kind of mask.
And Emily is going to talk about how to boost your immune system. I certainly want to hear her espouse on that.
Yeah, well, like as Brenda said, you always want to, of course, take the advice of your medical professionals, of your doctors, and do, what they've instructed you to do. But there are some things that we can do on our own to help boost our immune system. And that is the key to fighting COVID, other than, the vaccinations, which again is a personal choice, and the social distancing and the masking and things like that. There's also you needing to protect yourself. And the best way to protect yourself is to boost your immune system and keep it that way. Now, for a couple of things that I'll discuss today may be a bit much, but for me, I've been doing it for years. So it's second nature to me. And once you start and kind of get in the routine of doing it, it'll become second nature to you. But one of the things, and the number one thing that I've taken for years, is vitamin C. And you could have never told me in 1,000 years. This is what, a matter of fact, I just bought this for Brenda. And this is, whatever brand suits you. But put this a little bit closer to the camera.
Are there particular ingredients? Because all
vitamin C crystals.
All vitamin C is not the same.
Well, this is absorbic acid. So this is pure organic vitamin C crystal. Okay. And this brand is called Kal, Kal. Now, it comes in many, 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 many different brands. Whatever brand you decide to buy is your business. Right. I like this particular brand. It's the brand I've been buying ever since I started taking organic vitamin C crystal. Now, during COVID, or if you come down with COVID, the recommended dose, if you come down with COVID, is 10,000 milligrams a day.
Wow.
10,000. It sounds like a lot, but it's actually not a lot. It's just 2 teaspoons. So, and now I take
that's a liquid form.
No, that's a powder. It's a crystallized powder. Okay. So what I do is mix it in a smoothie. Okay. Now, if I don't have my morning smoothie, I just put it in juice, any kind of juice, just stir it until it dissolves and drink it. Now, if you're not familiar with taking vitamin C or you don't take it, you want to start yourself off with a lower dose. The reason I say that is because it will push through your immune system, which means it will create a bowel movement, which we all know is a good thing anyway. We want to continue to get the toxins out of our body by, continuously having bowel movements. Now, if you are like, I'm used to it now, so it doesn't affect me at all. But initially, when you first started taking it, it may give you bubble guts. If you're taking 10,000 and it gives you bubble guts, just back off a little bit. Just take, instead of 10,000, take 5,000. Now, it will not hurt you. There are 0 known side effects of having too much vitamin C in your system. Vitamin C or ascorbic acid is in a lot of things we already eat, a lot of foods and fruits and vegetables that occur naturally. It's in most fruits that we eat are going to have, especially in the citrus family, obviously it's going to have ascorbic acid in it. And ascorbic acid is also used as a preservative. So a lot of foods that you buy in the store are going to have that in it naturally as well.
They do. And, in ascorbic acid, just like, say, for instance, when I may make a fruit salad, just for an example, I will take and put orange juice over it to keep my fruit from turning colors.
Or lemon.
A lemon, you'll squeeze a lemon over it and it'll actually keep it from
turning brown,
from turning brown, things like that.
So that's the ascorbic acid that's actually in it. And what that does in our bodies is it actually creates a barrier. It protects the cell membrane itself, and it boosts your immune system times 1,000. So that is a number one supplement that you guys should be taking, even when you're not around COVID. Like I said, I've been taking it for years. I originally started taking it. A friend of mine, she's a certified herbologist. She's from London. And my son's school had an outbreak of the flu. Now, I haven't had the flu since I was a child because I stay up on my vitamins or whatever. So nevertheless, I was feeling kind of funny. Went to the doctor and the doctor told me, hey, you have the flu. And I said, no, I don't have a headache or a cough or anything. I said, I just feel really weird, like almost tired, but not really tired, just icky. He said, I'm telling you, you have the flu. It's going around. So I was like, okay, if you say so. So he writes me this prescription for Tamiflu. Never heard of Tamiflu a day in my life. Took it to the pharmacy. At that time, I didn't have health insurance because I didn't really get sick. So take it to the pharmacy, get it filled. Pharmacy calls my name. She said, okay, that'll be $186. I said, I'm sorry, what? No, I'm Emily Amos. You call for Emily Amos, right? I give her my birthday because I'm like, surely, they can't be my prescription. Yeah. And she was like, yes, ma'am. I said, well, okay. Well, what do I have? I said, I was only supposed to give Tamiflu. She said, well, he gave you Tamiflu and then I think something for pain. I said, well, take the one for pain off. I don't need that. I just take Tylenol. She took it off. She was like, okay, it's $181. So the pain medicine was only $5. Yeah. And you telling me this Tamiflu is $181. She says, yes. I said, well, let me get the generic. She says, there is no generic for Tamiflu.
Right.
And she said, you're taking it at the perfect time before you start exhibiting symptoms. This is the perfect time to take it. I said, ma'am, I don't have $181 for something. So I said, let me call my friend, Sonia. I called Sonia. I said, girl, I'm at the pharmacy, blah, blah, blah. What do I need to take that I can take over the counter that will help me fight this flu? She said, Emily, in her accent, oh, Emily. Oh, gosh, I need you to go to Willow Tree downtown, and I need you to get 100% vitamin C crystals. I said, what is vitamin C crystals going to do, Sonia? Just trust me. Just call me when you get to Willow Tree. So I pull up to Willow Tree. I go in. I get that particular brand. It's $30. I'm like, okay, well, $30 compared to $180. I'll take my chances. So she says, I want you to take 10,000 cc's a day. I don't even know what that means. Like, tell me how much to do. A teaspoon, a tablespoon. She was like, you need to take at least a tablespoon and a half a day, and you will be fine in a few days. Just rotate the Tylenol and the Motrin every 6 hours. I need you to rotate them and make sure you drink plenty of water, and I promise you will be fine in a few days. So I'm thinking, ain't no way vitamin C is going to get rid of the flu. That was a Tuesday that I went to the emergency room. I was back at work Friday.
Wow.
With the flu. I was back at work Friday. I took over 10,000 cc's a day, probably more than what much more than that, because I wasn't even measuring it. I was just taking it every time, every 6 hours I drink some juice. I put a whole, spoon of it in there, just stir it up and drink it. I was back at work on Friday.
And see, that's phenomenal.
Was no problem with excess amount? I mean,
no I've done extensive research. And you cannot take the only side effect, the only notated side effect of too much vitamin C is it's just going to make you go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And the thing about it, Henry, and you can attest to this. What did Mama T do when you were growing up for colds and things like that?
Castor oil.
A lot of and castor oil would clean you out. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's part of the holistic medicine is that,
because the toxin stays in your gut. In your gut. Where the sickness is. It's actually in your gut. So if you cleanse out your system in your gut, a lot of times that's pushing the toxin out, through your bowel movements.
Because a lot of old people used to say, "Hey, got to clean them children out," and they used to do that. Mm-hmm. And I think about my mom and some of the remedies that she takes, which is cod liver oil. That's right, fish oil. Mm-hmm. Take a teaspoon of that or whatever.
Oh God, I used to hate.
Man, I hate that cod liver oil.
Follow it with orange juice. My grandmother used to make us take a teaspoon of it and then follow it with orange juice. And I mean, when I tell you it was the worst, but they knew how to keep us healthy.
They knew how to keep us away from those colds.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they didn't. I don't think I went. The only time I can remember as a child going to the doctor, because we didn't have health insurance. My dad had his own business and we didn't have any. Mm-hmm. Was when my brother Alfonso threw me off the sofa. We were playing, we had Sheila. She said that 666. That call, sir.
Oh yeah, 666. That's right.
Oh man, I've never heard it added, but I've heard about it.
Yeah, you can only order it now from Canada.
That was some rough stuff, wasn't it, Sheila? It was rough, man. I'm telling you, you would take that sick, man. It would do something. It would do something to you.
Really?
Yeah, and
now you're gonna make me go research.
It was 666. That's what it was, and they would do that. You remember that, Henry? Mm-hmm. And we would take that cough syrup. We would take that cough syrup, and it was rough.
It was called syrup of black draw, something like that.
Oh, black draw was different than 666, though. Black draw.
I mean the cough syrup. I'm talking about.
Where there was a black draw, and I thought 666 was a different kind.
Black draw
cough syrup. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they used to do that, and they would. It was just a lot of old remedies that people used to do that were not, the best. Like now they don't give them to you, whatever. But getting back to COVID, it worked. Right. It did.
If you act right, your grandmother would put a little bit of sugar in the castor oil, but otherwise you have to take it straight. And that was
man, that castor oil was rough. You hear me?
It was rough. But another, I made some notes here. Another thing, so the vitamin C is the number one, and the vitamin C.
Before we skip there, let me just clarify. What about the tablets of the vitamin C? Do you
the gummies and all of that?
Here's the thing with those. They're okay to take, but you end up having to choose so many of them to get what 10, you need. You'll end up having bottles and bottles of the tablets. So it's best to just get it in its most raw organic form with nothing added to it. Good. So with the tablets, you're going to some of them will have gelatin in them or whatever they're going to use to actually form the tablet itself. Food coloring, flavoring, and all different stuff like that.
And not only that, gelatin is just pig bones. Ain't nothing but pig.
Is pork.
It's pork.
So, but nevertheless, and because I've had people that have asked me that about taking the tablets for. Yeah, now I think if you're giving it to your children, which is fine, you got to give them and take. Or you can give them the tablets or the gummies because they wouldn't need as much vitamin C as we would need, as adults. And it's I'm sure it's a lot easier for children to take the little sweet tablets or the gummies or whatnot. But for us, you just mix it in some juice. It's gonna be super tart. Like I suggest not putting it in water because you probably won't. It'll be too tart. It's basically like sucking on 10 lemons at one time. Gotcha.
Ooh,
so I normally put it in like hot tea, which is really, really good. Putting it in a juice, which is good, or putting it in your smoothie. That way you're not really taking it. Renee Wilson, that's my cousin from Dallas, Texas. Hey, Hey, so she said vitamin C powder as well. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And and a lot of things, I'm glad that you're talking about the raw, the way it is, these forms, because it does make a difference as to how much you consume and stuff like that.
And I also want to point out this too. What you want to pay attention to, whatever brand you're buying when you're buying your supplements, check the absorbency level. And every brand that's FDA approved, will have an absorbency rating, and it's normally 1 to 5, and it'll tell you how much of it, if you take the recommended dose on the package, how much of it your body will actually absorb. So you want to make sure you're getting something that's going to have an 85% or higher absorption rate. Because a lot of times the stuff that you buy at Walmart, I'll give you a prime example. This is about $25 for that bottle. You could buy vitamin C at Walmart for $4. Now, that $4 absorbency rate is probably going to be in the 20 to 25% versus taking it raw and organic. You're going to spend more money on it, but you're going to get 100% absorption with a vitamin C crystal. So you want to make sure that when you're choosing your supplements, that you choose ones that have a higher absorbency rate, which means your body is going to absorb it and do what it needs to do with it. And it won't get killed once it gets into your gut.
Good.
That's awesome.
Right. And your next
so the next one is going to be vitamin D.
Vitamin D.
We've all seen, during COVID, they're saying vitamin D, vitamin D, vitamin D. Vitamin D is also a massive immune system booster. And it's also, of course, we know it works well for bones. It's an anti-inflammatory as well. And so how that works in terms of COVID or any virus for that matter is it's going to help your immune system, your lungs, your heart. It's going to keep the inflammation down so you don't get the massive swelling. Okay. So with your vitamin D, you want to do about 5,000 IUs a day. Okay. And we're talking about adult doses here.
Now, where are you getting these? Are you getting them in a tablet or?
No, my vitamin Ds, I get them in a gummy form, and I use VitaFusion is the brand, and they have about a 95% absorption rate. And though they're going to be vegan, sugar-free, blah, blah, blah. So I chose, the best kind because vitamin D doesn't come in a powder form. So you can only get vitamin D either out of the food you eat, which, you never can eat enough food to absorb your vitamin D. And I go out in the sun, but not long. I'm not sitting out there long enough to soak in enough vitamin D. So, I take about 4 tablets, I believe. Yeah, 4 tablets, or not tablets, but 4 gummies. And they have about a 95% absorption rate. Okay. And I will tell you this, I had a rotor cup issue with my rotor cup. And once I started taking the vitamin D months and months and months ago, I now have full mobility back in my arm.
Oh, wow.
So
I need to do that.
Vitamin D works, it works.
I need to try that with my knees because I have a lot of problems with my knees. And in fact, I can, I'm the weatherman. When it comes to, because I can tell, I said, okay, Henry, it's going to rain really because my wrist is hurting or my foot is hurting or whatever, like where I've had those broken bones. So I will definitely, try that. What we want to let you know is you can go on to All of a Sudden website on Facebook, those is like us, and we can put down the brands and things like that of what it is that Emily is talking about so that you can find that. So just know that while you listen, just kind of sit back and relax. We'll repost it so that you can find those items and the brands that we suggest. Yeah.
Now, is the infusion, is that the brand or that's the form?
No, VitaFusion is the brand. Okay. VitaFusion is the brand, and it's the extra strength vitamin D. Okay. Strength vitamin D. VitaFusion is the brand, and make sure you get the extra strength, and you'll be able, because they have VitaFusion has, I think, 2 or 3 different vitamin D gummies. I just like the extra strength because I don't want to be taking it all day or I just need to take 3 or 4 and be done with it. Right. So I do like that brand, and the absorption is really good. It is certified absorption into the bloodstream.
I'm going to look for both of those. Yeah.
So, that's that. And again, you want to do 5,000 IUs a day. And if you take that particular brand, that's going to equal out to about 4 little gummies.
4 gummies.
4 gummies a day. And again, they're vegan gummies. They're sugar-free, fat-free, all of that stuff. So they're really, really healthy gummies, and they taste delicious. So that's that elderberry.
Yeah.
We all know about elderberry. I don't have to go into grave detail about elderberry, but elderberry is one of the top natural berries. It's actually a plant or a leaf and a berry, and it helps to boost the immune system. Of course, it's actually better than vitamin D in boosting the immune system because its specific purpose is to boost the immune system, inflammation, and it lessens stress, and it also helps protect the heart. So those are all, of course.
Now, how many units of
elderberry, if you're getting it in a syrup in liquid form, which is for the most part how you're going to buy it anyway, I take about 2 tablespoons a day. Now, you don't have to take that much, but again, prior to COVID, I was only taking 1 tablespoon a day. Now that COVID has been here for the last 2 years, we can say roughly, I'm taking 2 tablespoons a day. So I take, sometimes I'll take both in the morning in my smoothie. If I know I have like a late evening or whatever, I'll take 2 that morning. Or sometimes I'll take 1 in the morning and 1 at night before I go to bed.
Okay.
And also elderberry is one of those things. So elderberry and vitamin C is one of those things that you can't take too much of. So, but I'm still, it won't hurt you. The elderberry, taking a lot of it won't hurt you. But other than, again, making you have what we call the bubble guts. But I always tell people bubble guts is not bad because as long as you go into the bathroom, you're getting rid of whatever toxins are in your body.
And it certainly beats a ventilator, okay?
Right.
Oh, absolutely.
Right,
So,
absolutely.
Emily, what I'm hearing is if you just really like mask up, and try to and work on building your immune system. Not saying that you won't get COVID, but you certainly be able to fight better. And those of us who, I've gotten my shot, you've gotten yours, Henry, is that we're trying to fight it.
Right. And these things, doing these things that I'm calling out today, these things will help boost your immune system so that even if you come in contact with it and you do contract COVID, your immune system will be so strong, at best, you may get the sniffles. And something to where you think, oh, it's just my allergies. It's not going to even prompt you to need to lay down or take a nap because your system is so strong. And essentially, I don't know if you guys know how COVID works. It gets in the COVID molecules, or whatever you want to call it. They actually get into your system and your cells recognize it almost, and it starts to replicate. So when your immune system is built up and it's strong, it stops your body from replicating the foreign substance. Right? So, and it also helps produce additional white blood cells so that's going to help fight the infection as well. I'll give you an example. Jimmy, me and Jimmy, our whole family stayed completely clear of COVID for a whole year and a half. Jimmy and them's, he's at Middle Georgia State University, and they started back in-person classes in January of this year. And so he went to class, started back class. He was at school 2 days. He hates when I call it school. He was in class 2 days and he contracted COVID.
Wow. 2
days. And these are all adults when you think about it, Okay, so 2 days, and he came home with a fever. He went to class Wednesday, Thursday. By Monday, he came home with a fever, and he didn't even know he had a fever. Cause of course I've been giving him, vitamin C and things like that. He had no idea that he had, so I'm taking all of the above. He had no idea that he had a fever. And, boys, he's 22. So he had no idea anyway. I said, you look flushed. He said, well, what's flushed, mama? I said, hey, Johnny.
What's up, Johnny Holingshed?
He says, what's flushed? I said, your face looks red. You look hot. He said, I'm just really tired. I said, come here. So I said, I need you to take your temperature because you don't look right. And so he takes his temperature. He walks off. He comes back. I said, well, what did it say? He said 101.7. I said, and you don't feel bad. He said, I just feel tired. So I said, darn, Jimmy, go put on your mask. So he goes back and he puts on his mask. And immediately that night, I started giving him what I call my concoction. I started giving him doses of what I'm describing today. But what I did was I gave him those doses every 6 hours. So I woke him up in the middle of the night, made him take it again. Woke it up 6 hours later, made him take it again. He had a fever for less than 18 hours. Wow. In 18 hours, his fever was gone. That's no medication, no cough syrup, no anything. Just taking what it is that I've just called out to you. just now every 6
Amazing.
hours, less than 18 hours, the fever was gone.
And I just want to, clarify, these are suggestions.
Right.
Henry and I do some things. We use green vibrant. That powder that you can mix in with with juice or whatever. We'll put that in to build immune system. And I'll be sure and post, where we get that. I was feeling bad. And that is a very distinguished gentleman we have in the studio. That's Johnny talking smack about you. Johnny, how you doing? Can you text us and tell us how you doing? How are you doing with the COVID and stuff like that? How are your symptoms?
So he said you are a very distinguished gentleman.
Very distinguished.
John is very kind.
But I do believe, Emily, you've got to fight it.
You do.
And everybody that I've seen that have fought it, they use food. They use what you're talking.
Yes, herbal supplements.
Herbal supplements and things like that. To my
such a smart mouth. Hello, Dr. Emily Fauci.
Hello. I use thieves oil. I use aromatherapy. But for those who don't have all those different oils, you can get a pot, put it on your stove, peel the hulls of 2 to 3 lemons.
And breathe that in. Absolutely.
Right. Some people put grapefruit. You can put lemon with it, but however you want it, and cover that pot with some water, boil it, let it seep, feel the air, and then make you a tea and drink it. That'll help you.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's nasty enough. It ought to do something though.
Yeah. But it works. It works. Now, it may not taste the best, but it does work.
Now the legal part of me want to say that you're not promising or guaranteeing any result.
Absolutely
These
not.
are just tried and true experiences that you have had the benefit of.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Hello, caller. See, I did good. They made a bet, Johnny, that I was going to mess up when you call, right?
Right. She just lucked up this time.
I did. How you doing?
Okay, they said, well, I said, well, in this climate of today, let me go take a test. I did. The temperature was 100, but after, later that evening, and since then, it's been normal. So the fever is not the end-all sign. I just, and like you all were saying, I think, let me just say me. I just don't think they have enough coverage on these news stations here in Macon about COVID and updating people. If they had as many spots cut out for COVID as they do for giving us an update with the weather, I think it would cause more attention from people.
Are you being sarcastic? Or are you being, because 13WM is every 5 minutes they got a darn article about COVID.
No, I'm being so serious.
Well,
I watch 24 Fox, and they're begging people.
Well, then there you go. It's 24 and Fox, right?
Yeah, they're begging people to keep their station and call Dish because Dish is going to cut them out. But I've been trying to call them and tell them, maybe if you all have more news that concerns Macon instead of Houston County and Dublin and everywhere else except Macon. I think that's a big problem here. And I think they need to be more prevalent about their information about what's going on in the school systems as well.
Well, I just, I spoke to a COVID investigator this morning, and she spoke about how bad it is in the schools, in the children.
Yeah.
See, it's the children spreading it, and they are getting sick, and some of them are losing their lives, unfortunately. I just think it's time, and I have to agree with you, Johnny, but we got some people out there, and some of our listeners, or some of them, who don't believe, number one, Emily, they're not getting a shot. They're not worrying about their immune system. They said Jesus.
Right.
They said Jesus is going to take care of them.
Right.
Listen, let me say, it really comes down to being respectful of others.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Right.
And even though I feel fine, all that good stuff, but I still took the suggestion to stay away from people until I got retested.
Right.
They said, do 14 days. God knows I'm going crazy,
bet.
being still.
Yep.
But
I
out of respect for other people, I said, I don't want to. And I think that, like you said, because they weren't testing kids, because kids weren't having symptoms, it's because when your immune system is, stronger and fights off more things. So they might not have been showing signs, but they still should have been getting tested. Everybody ought to be getting tested, because you're not wearing the effects of it doesn't mean you're a carrier.
And you're
doesn't mean you're not a carrier.
That's right. Now, I have. Go ahead, Johnny. I'm sorry. I have kids.
I'm back to your point about the kids.
Yeah.
I think the kids, a lot of them, have been carriers all along. And
that's true.
Just not showing the effect. And now it's coming home to roost.
Right. And I think I can attest to that. My brother is listening now. And Anthony, you correct me if I'm wrong. His entire family contracted COVID, and they all, survived, and everything was fine. The children contracted COVID too, but everybody tested positive. And my youngest niece, I think she may have been around 8. She was the youngest. She was completely asymptomatic. So I told my brother, I believe that's where y'all got it from. You probably contracted it from her, because she never got symptomatic. She never got sick. Everybody else, and it's 5 people total, everybody else in the house got sick except for her, but she tested positive as well. And I said, she's an example of what you would consider an asymptomatic person that and you would never know. Rare, right, it's very rare.
And what I did was I bought some home COVID tests, and my crazy self went to the store, and I picked up 3, and I told Henry I should have picked up all of them, but I didn't. And then when I went back, they're all gone. So it's kind of so the home COVID test, because I'm like, I ain't trying to go out around these people. I've been posting on Facebook about the crowds of people around the CVS trying to get. I was like, we were going there trying to get some medicine. You go through the drive-through. Let me go get some medicine through the drive-through. You can't get through the drive-through for the COVID people.
There's a constant line.
There's a constant line. But the
Inside
other thing,
and out, by the way.
Yeah, the other thing I heard was, and I was in the store when I heard this, Emily, how about this lady went in there, Johnny? She went in there and showed out.
About what?
Oh, she wanted her shot. Didn't they know it was an epidemic? And she wanted her Pfizer shot. I said, she must have heard Johnny. But she said, I want my she said, you know who she looked like, okay? I want my Pfizer shot. Now, you know it is an epidemic, and I want to get my shot. And they said, ma'am, you cannot get your shot unless you have an appointment. And you got to get your appointment online. She was hot. I said, okay, folks, get ready to start tearing up stuff now.
Right, let me get on up out of here.
You know what?
How fair?
I was like, I got to go because I felt like she was going to turn it out, and I didn't want to be in there, But
I think they got to change the language too. They got to change the language to layman terms. I think we'll connect with more people. Instead of saying, sometimes it's little tweaks. Like instead of continually saying asymptomatic, people need to start saying, look, you can have COVID and not know it.
That's true. That is a better way to say it.
The language will help a lot of people actualize what's being said. because a lot of people here are asymptomatic. They don't know what that means. And they need to start saying, hey, everybody, you can have COVID and not know it. And you need to get tested. Even those people who, like you all were talking about having religious convictions and beliefs that denies them to go and get it, they need to at least try to convince them, at least go get a test and find out if you have it.
And that's true. That's true.
And even if you don't want to go get a shot, at least you'll know it. Now, a certain percentage of those people will bow down and say, you know what, I got it. I'm going to go ahead and get shot. Others are not still.
And
but
others,
still, we could.
That's right.
Yeah,
and they're not doing what you're doing. See, they're not doing the work because it takes the work, to build your immune system. Right. I do want to say this. We had, and this is a legal question. I had a person call Henry and ask, and so I consulted with an employment lawyer. This is real talk here in town, and I won't say her name, but she does employment law for several of the institutions here. And someone said, "Can I get fired if I do not take the COVID shot?"
If it's a private company, then yes.
And they are firing you. Yes, sir, buddy.
And you can't get unemployment too.
That is correct. So I want to put it out there. If your employer tells you to get a COVID shot, you need to go and get that shot if you want to work. Now they say they can't make me do nothing, but now
nobody can make you do anything.
Georgia, listen to me when I tell you this. Georgia is a right to work state. Yeah. Okay, meaning that they basically can fire you for anything.
Right, absolutely.
So meaning with that being said, if they tell you to get your shot,
they can fire you for nothing.
Right. Say it again, Mr. Williams.
They can fire you for nothing.
For nothing. Right.
For nothing.
And the only consequence is when do your unemployment compensation start?
Right. Exactly.
Based upon the reason. So if they fire you for no reason, then it would probably start right away.
But if
they fired you for a reason, then that's a disqualifying.
Right. And I want to say this. I have heard the strange that the bottom line is this. It has to do with people now getting afraid of people bringing COVID into the workplace. So
Anthony he said a good point. He said the bottom line is to do your research, no matter where the message comes from. Have a plan for your own wellness and safety. The matters of law in America have often not benefited our race.
Yeah, and I know that there's a lot of folk that look like us that are just really weary of research. Now, the reason why I chose Pfizer is because a black lady did it. A black lady was involved in it. And that's really why I took Pfizer. I didn't want Moderna. I didn't want the rest of them because I wanted, now I can't speak for everybody else. I'm just speaking for Brenda, is that I wanted to make sure that a black person worked with the development of it. And so that's why I chose Pfizer.
Right. But I'm going to stick with
John, if you don't mind, let me see if
go ahead.
Let me see if Emily is finished with her natural ingredients before we run out of time.
I have three more.
All right,
magnesium.
Let's cover those and then.
Magnesium, that's 500 milligrams a day. The other one is selenium, which Johnny mentioned that while ago. You want 200 micrograms a day, and then zinc. Zinc normally comes. You can do about 100 milligrams of that a day. All three of those come in organic form. All three of those you can actually purchase at your local drugstore. You could purchase them at Amazon. Again, you want to make sure that you're taking the most raw organic form of whatever it is you're taking so that you're not adding other stuff, especially if you're a diabetic or high blood pressure, diabetes, kidney, anything like that. A lot of times those supplements may have a lot of extra sugar or things in them. So just look for those and make sure that you're getting the most raw and organic form. Again, those last three were magnesium, about 500 milligrams a day, selenium, 200 micrograms, and zinc. Now, selenium tastes disgusting. It is absolutely gag-worthy, disgusting, but it is extremely well in controlling inflammatory functions in the body and boosting your immune system. Magnesium, be careful if you're going to take magnesium or if you take a multivitamin with magnesium in it. Make sure you take it in the morning and make sure you eat with it, because magnesium will make you very nauseated if you take it without, like on an empty stomach.
I just want to make sure, just want to put it out there to all our listeners. Go to All of a Sudden page on Facebook, and we're going to take and write about this.
He's already listing. My brother is actually listing each one of the ones that I'm calling out. He's listing them there, so you guys have a reference to go back.
They can go back, and we can,
great.
and we'll go back and list them too, in a post, just so you can see it. The other thing is, Emily, we really haven't had time to talk about it, but I'm a big
before you get that, let's let Johnny make his point, because
I just want to say this real quick. We got to make an acknowledgement. There are more people in this country who have not gone to college than there are that have gone to college. And I think that language is a very big component.
He's right.
I think language is a very big component. And I think that, instead of saying comprehend, we need to just say understand. We need to make sure that our language reaches that high population of people who have not gone and got the shot. We got to speak to them. Can't be worried about how intelligent and how informed we sound. We got to, because you can have all the great things in the world to say, but if your audience does not understand, what good is what you said? So we need to make sure we're mindful of the language. And I'll say this to stop. I got a person's attention one day because they started in with, man, I don't know what they got in that doggone vaccination stuff. I don't know what they put in that stuff. And then I stopped them and said, but let me ask you a question. Do you really know what's in a can of Campbell's soup? Do you really know what's in a box of Frosted Flakes? But you eat them. I said, sometimes you just got to take a chance. I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't go to no doctor. I said, well, what if you break your leg? What are you going to do, tie a bell around it? So you have to reach out to them sometimes in a different manner than your IQ says.
You know what? That's a valid thing. And I can't remember what show we was on, Emily, we did, but he was just saying how you got to break it down. You do have to break it down for a lot of people because they don't get it.
And here's the thing that I keep stressing. We live in America. We have the right to choose what we do and what we put in our bodies. And what I am quite frankly is the bullying tactics. I'm tired of being made to feel like I'm less than, or I'm an idiot, or I should be doing this for the betterment of mankind, where, like you said, I've done the work on my body to stay healthy. So if I feel like it is not for me, I shouldn't feel pressured, and I shouldn't feel bullied, and I shouldn't be made to feel less than because I made a different choice for my body than you did.
But let me just say this,
and
Emily,
that's important to me.
Emily, let me say this because I want to put it out there. What you're saying is correct, but you mask, okay? You mask, and you mask well. You don't place, it's not like I ain't gonna do whatever and don't do the work. It takes the work.
Yeah.
So if you make a choice, let's say you make a choice, and I'm not talking about, I'm just giving an example. You make a choice, I don't want to wear the mask. Okay. But you don't do anything about immunization. And you don't want to wear a mask, you don't want to get a shot, you don't want to do anything. So you need to stay in the house. Because you're not doing anything to help yourself. I'm talking, you help yourself.
Right.
And that's really critical. I want to make a difference there.
Yep.
Because when I came in, Emily was masked up, and I mean, she for real masked up. Like mask up with the filter on and everything. She just she tight, mask right and tight. Right. What you was gonna say, Johnny?
Emily got to stay healthy because you never know when she's gonna be called to the Capitol for Georgia Businesswoman of the Year.
I'll take that. I'll accept that.
And then not only that, Emily has to be around all of her clients. And when I've gone in to get like makeup done and stuff like that, Emily masked. Okay.
Look, when you first started talking about Emily really masked up, I thought you were talking about how she masked up her clients. Because I just say to myself sometimes, I know that ain't the same girl.
Child, You know what? I call Emily be doing magic with that makeup and stuff. I don't know what she be doing. You know, she be spraying on. She you know, she use a little spray when she be putting the makeup on. She don't use like a little sponge and thing. She have, what did you call that thing?
It's
Emily?
an airbrush.
She be airbrushing your face and so.
She's some kind of David Copperfield.
Emily be performing modern day miracles.
Hey, man, because some of the people.
Moses' cousin.
Huh?
That's Moses' cousin.
Yeah.
Cause some of the stuff she do, you know, I'm like, Lord
Some
have
of the
mercy.
results I said, boy, somebody's seen a burning bush.
Yes, sir. Emily is the direct descendant of Jesus. Performing miracles up in here.
I'm talking about, you know, the way she be beating them face. I'm gonna talk. She beat my mama's face. My mama's still talking about, you know, I need to get them eyelashes and stuff on. I said, no, mama, we not doing your face. No, we not doing the face and the hair.
Oh my God,
Whatever your mama wants, your mama needs to get. You had I told you about picking at your mom.
Look, she gave me a hard time when she sat down in that chair. I said, Miss Verena, I got you. I promise I'm going to take care of you. I ain't going to have you looking crazy. She was like, all right. I mean, just talking, you know, doing what she do, talking junk. And when she got out of that chair and she saw herself, oh my goodness. I mean, she like did a little, you know, a little dance, a little jig.
Yeah.
I said, oh, she feeling herself now.
And you know, mama has a lot of health problems, getting back to the topic. But she does the things, she does a regimen of prevention. She takes her cod liver oil every day. Now, I'm definitely not promoting this, but there's some people out here gonna know what I'm talking about. She take and put like turpentine and sugar. Yes, Sheila. You know, Sheila Worthy, is there a way to come, you know, we can mention at the beginning of the show. I certainly can. I will reach out to the COVID. She's a COVID investigator. Mm-hmm. You know, here, and I will ask her if she'll do it. She has a wealth of information, and I will ask her if she can be on the show. I sure will. You got it.
Yeah, I was one of the people that helped Sheila make a decision to go ahead and get a shot. She was reluctant at first.
But you know, I'm glad that you did. You know, I put like this: is some people don't. I got it, and I got where you are, Emily. Mm-hmm. I really do. I just want to stress, though, you do the work, and if you do the work, it's something different. But people are not doing the work.
Right. Yeah, they're not,
and they just be a part of the hospital triage.
You know,
if you don't do the work.
There's no more room in the hospital.
Hey, say it again, Johnny, so that people can see
it. There's no more room in the hospital.
And you want to know something? When I talked to the professional this morning, she reiterated, there is no more room in the hospitals. In South Georgia, there is no more room in the hospitals.
And Anthony, I should mention colon cleanser. Don't forget colon
That's right. And, all right. And you're right, Anthony. And there is no more ventilators down there in Albany, Georgia.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm saying that to say that, you know, we have people, and the majority of the people who are sick have not been vaccinated. Mm-hmm. But you know what?
Like me, they said that the reason why I wasn't really, really sick was because I had been vaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
And if you make that part of the triage, triage is supposed to give priority of the patients that are seen and how in what fashion and what order. If you have not done anything to try to prevent, minimize, then you ought to be lower on that totem pole.
Lower on the totem
pole. I agree. And I think if you know, if you ain't did the work, here we go again.
Yeah, because you believe that God didn't make medicine. He only give you the miracle to save your life. Well, why are you in a rush to get to the hospital? Why are you in a rush to see the doctor?
Right.
Sit there and let God perform the miracle.
The miracle.
That's right. And see, I'm just talking.
And let me say this: we got 2 minutes left. I want to go over these really, really, really super quick. These are just simple things that you can do. This is not a vast thing, a big thing. These are very simple things that you can do every day to help boost your immune system to where you probably won't even get the sniffles. So vitamin C, vitamin D, elderberry, magnesium, selenium, and zinc. I'm going to say that again. Vitamin C, vitamin D, elderberry, selenium, zinc, and magnesium.
And by the way,
Just clarify that vitamin C, crystal,
in the crystallized form.
And I also want to encourage you, if you're like me, take a scoop of green vibrance and put it in some juice and drink that, and put that with your smoothie. Because it's got all your greens in it. Because you need your greens.
Exercise.
Say it again, Johnny. Exercise.
Yeah, because I do go to the gym 3 times a week.
You know, gotta exercise. We've enjoyed having you here, and I'm going to
like 15 seconds.
We got 15 seconds, and
I'm glad to be with you.
Thank you, honey pie. I love you.
Big hand.
Yeah, big hand.
I can't wait till Johnny get back.
Of the broadcast.
Connecting the community through gospel. The new 107.9 FM, W300 EB, Macon, and WDDO 980 AM, Perry, Macon.
My God is good. Oh.
Hey, my God is good. Oh.
Hey, my God is good. Oh.
Hey,
everybody clap your hands. Let's